Hi, good morning. Holly Buchanan, Senior Director at Katz and Associates, born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee. Very proud of that. There's not very few of us in this industry from here. I'm a CCIM. I'm on the National Board of Directors, and I'll be the 2024 Presidential Liaison for the Institute under Education.
I am Julie Gardner with Katz and Associates in our Charlotte, North Carolina office.
I got into brokerage when I started my career at Linens and Things. As I originally started as an executive assistant, was promoted to an analyst, reviewed all real estate sites, saw what the brokers did for the company, and realized that's what I was meant to do.
I had worked at Bath & Body Works as a manager. I quit, went into a staffing agency, and the very next day they placed me at a small commercial real estate brokerage company, 3 brokers and a property manager, and I was the admin. Fast forward through 2 buyouts and kept getting displaced and was the broker assistant for the retail department. And in 2004, in my review, the managing broker asked me why I wasn't doing brokerage. And short story, there were 30 men, there were no women. And I just was like, I don't know. And he pretty much encouraged me to go for it, reminded me that I was doing everything but the actual deals, and was very much a mentor, encouraged me to actually pursue and take some CCIM courses from the educational part of it, and that was in 2004.
I started in January of 1992 leasing grocery anchored centers for a developer that owned them across 4 states, from Virginia through the Carolinas and in Georgia. We did leasing of small shops and junior box stuff.
Gosh, probably just how to turn time on and off when it's time to be a mom, when it's time to be full-fledged into work, and how they mesh together those times.
There's several things. It's that statement of, if I knew then what I know now. I actually think that I like the operations side. I've always been in retail, and the operations side is pretty fascinating to me as far as store openings and all of that. I think if I may have gone that route more so than brokerage. I do wish I'd had a mentor early on that was like me as far as female and pursuing a family, just to kind of be that big sister in that role and guide me through the bumps, the ups and downs. There's good years and bad years.
Oh goodness, how long the lead time can be on the deal.
It's probably not my most memorable deal. It's probably really just a situation that happened in my career. Really early on, I was a landlord rep for a property, and I had a national restaurant chain coming to visit my property. And the director of real estate asked me to tour him through the market. As we toured, we talked about the industry, we talked about the way that the market was growing, and ended the tour with a handshake and that he would follow up with me. And a week later, I wound up getting the account.
There's a couple. I think, I gotta be honest, I think my most memorable is still out there. I'm working on one that could be right now, and I'm pretty excited about it.
The most memorable deal would probably have to be Wolfgang Puck. He was, we were looking at a site in Charlotte to open for one of his concepts, and he came into town to look at the site, and it was close to lunch, and I said, take me to your favorite lunch place, and it can't be fancy. So I took him to a cash-only walk-up counter Price's Chicken Coop, where we had fried chicken sat on the side of a grassy knoll next to a light rail, and he said that was the best fried chicken he'd ever had. And we got the deal.
My best advice would be to just stay true to yourself. Ride the highs, understand the lows and learn from them, and just don't be your own worst enemy. There's a lot of enemies out there, so be an advocate for yourself.
Especially in the South, we are really bad about deflecting praise. We downplay our achievements. So when somebody says, oh my gosh, great job, we just say, oh, it's nothing. It was no big deal. I do it all the time. And we have to stop doing that. Like, we need to not shy away from that. And I think another thing too is not to shy away from self-publicity, especially that helps build us and our brand. Those are probably the big things.
I would say learn to tackle the hard stuff first, whether it's a tough topic, a tough set of people, real parameters, but try to tackle the really hard and complicated stuff right up front and first. It'll make the rest of the deal easier, or at least feel easier.
I think it's just understanding your role in particular, understanding to stay in your lane, understanding what your clients expect from you, understanding what your company expects from you, and giving it your all each and every day.
I don't know if this is specific to retail real estate. I think it's to working mom more than anything, is the interruptions. This business definitely makes you ADD. We are juggling so many clients and deals and our colleagues that all of a sudden it's 3 hours and you've got nothing accomplished. You can do your best to start with a to-do list of the day, and if you just don't close out the noise and stick to that one task and seeing it through, it's hard. It's really hard. So I've started time blocking with my clients, like, Monday at 9 is dedicated to this one, and I'm gonna get it to this point before I delegate it over to somebody else. So it's interruptions is a big one, and juggling.
I would say that probably, in the early days of the early 90s, it was probably a little tough to be taken seriously. There were just so few women in the business. I really feel like that's not the case anymore. There are so many women in C-suite positions, whether it's on the tenant side, developer, landlord, investment side. I really feel like there are a lot more people men and women, looking to other women for advice, direction, ideas, in really every facet of our business.
My absolute favorite thing about being a broker is building relationships. It's learning people, it's learning about their family, learning about the business, where they came from. There's nothing better than starting out as acquaintance and wind up really becoming friends at the end.
The time, meaning the flexibility. My girls are now 16 and 17, and I became a broker right before they were both born. And when in technology, the things that none of us could do 15 years ago, it's pretty amazing how so much that we can do from our iPhones. We can be anywhere. We can have a sick kid and be home and no one know that we're at home, or we can be sitting on the beach with a pina colada, also working. So the flexibility with our time and location at this point it's great.
Well, I guess you could say I get paid to be kind of a professional shopper. Being every shopping center, mall, trade area across 4 states makes it kind of fun. But honestly, I really feel like I'm running my own business, but I get to do it with all my great friends. So that's a nice part.